One of my favorite things about CCM/RBK is that they now sell, their tongues, the replacement tongues, which is a nice, this is their nice little white felt tongue, and these tongues are great. These are size extra large because I like to flop my skates, so I get, about this much a flop out of these. I know most people, they really like a big flop. I don't, but I also like the fact that this works kind of as a protector. When it's flopped over like that, it acts kind of as a protector. I seem to take a lot of pucks to the ankle. I might actually consider getting some of those, what you would call skate fenders, and I would love to try those out, but man, are they expensive. They're just too expensive for me. Reebok really did it right when they started selling their tongues as replacements. It's a thinner felt, which feels great. If you were a CCM Tack user like I was, one thing that you miss about it is they have a nice thin felt. I'd say it's about half an inch or so, and it just feels great. And it also has, the binding down the middle, so you get more of a better turn like that if you like to tuck it in under your shin guard, so you get a better wrap. Kind of like the idea that Graf has, where they do the same, but Graf tongues are I'd say these are about 1/4 of an inch. Graf tongues are about 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and they're just thick. Currently on my pro stock Easton skates, I actually do not have the retail Easton skate tongues on them as well, obviously, but the Easton felt tongue is probably the worst tongue I've ever used, besides the Easton S15 tongue that's retail, which is actually turned out to be covered in foam on the inside with their, bio dry liner, which on the skates does suck. Whereas these, I really prefer felt. Felt is really soft. It really wicks away moisture and kind of dispels it the other way. As far, right here, it's got a very, very good, awesome, guard right here, plastic guard that, really keeps you from getting laced by it, and also at the same time is very protective when you take a puck. My CCM tongues that I have on my other skates that I put on my retail S15s is very similar to this. The only difference is that I like is that, back then CCM used to do the wrap, the cloth wrap around right here to keep the tongues from fraying. That's something I might actually do before I send these off with my skates to get them replaced. Are Reebok, tongues very protective? Yes, they are, because they're basically the same thing as the CCM Tack tongues, and they're actually my favorite. These are the extra large size 12 to 13 skate, but once I put them on and I, modify them, they should be much, maybe about an inch shorter, so they'll be right on the dot. If not, hey, I'll sell them. Big deal. Reebok replacement tongues, should you get them? Yes, especially if you have really crappy retail tongues, definitely get them. Should you get, the way thicker felt tongues from Graf? Yeah, but I must warn you, the reason why I use thinner ones is because I have a high volume foot, very, very big fat foot, so I need something that will not take away any space from the foot inside of the skate. I love Graf. I'd kill for another pair of Grafs, especially a 727s or something, or 707s. But, the Graf tongue is huge. Huge. Really takes up a lot of space. It takes up a lot of negative space, but like I said, if you have a high volume foot, a big fat foot, it's just not going to work out. You might actually have to downgrade the Graf tongue to something smaller, but these are great. They're thin, protective, and right now they smell great, so what else can you say about something new, right? So Reebok replacement tongues, or basically CCM Tack tongues, labeled as Reebok. Go out and get them. I know Bauer also does the Supreme tongues. You can get those too. I'm not a big fan of those, but because they have this weird guard over here and a guard right here and a guard over here, and it just kind of makes it irritating. But like I said about everything, it's all about the preference. Cheers. Enjoy.